Hi everybody. Hi everyone. I hope you're all well wherever you are and having an amazing evening. As I wait for other people to join, just wanted to say I'm so excited and so glad to be here. And today I'm here for you by myself. I am here for you to speak about the work I do and to answer the questions that many people ask me time and time again, repetitive questions that I feel will help shed more light to everyone who is following me, who is interested in getting help, who wants to know about the modality I use and how it helps. There are some common questions that I have found that I seem to repeat, so I thought, why not pop on to a live? Why not come on here and why not share them with you directly? I also am aware that working with your mental health, working especially with areas that are so personal, as you know, my expertise and support is around grief and anxiety. So when I work with people who are coming to me for such personal issues, it is a situation of building trust. Hi everybody, hello, thank you for joining. Hi Aman, nice to see you. So welcome everybody, whoever's joining me. If you are watching me on replay, thank you so much. Time is such a precious commodity, and if you've logged on just to be here with me, I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So I'm here today to share with you the common questions around the work that I do and the help that I offer, because people sometimes are not sure about all these different types of help that is out there. And there are so many available nowadays. It's difficult to decide who you want to work with. It's difficult to decide what modality is the right one. So by shedding some light on some of the questions that I have heard from people, I thought it will just help make it clearer about myself, what I do and what I bring to the table for people who are needing support and guidance in their issues. So the first question is, how do I help, right? What is it that I do? So those of you who know my story will know that personally in my own life, I have had a series of events, experiences that truly shook me, that truly challenged my own mental well-being. Some of these have included losses of my dad, my papa. I speak very openly about it. I left my marriage. I was in a situation where I had to regroup and also think about work. So I was a single parent from a very for a long time I've been there. But working through the journey of picking yourself up when you are in a situation that is challenging, and especially if you have little children who are dependent on you and you have just lost a loved one, you're navigating the world, it is a very tricky space to be in. And I lost my dad in 2008, and that was the time when I also left my marriage, and I also had a new place to live and a new environment. Everything was different for me, and I was honestly very shattered inside. And it came to a point where I questioned what I was, what I wanted to do, and a lot of people can relate to this. So when we go through challenges in life, whether it is loss or whether it is a challenge of some sort in a relationship with your money, finances, it truly questions your inner being, your inner strength. And it took me a lot of self-help stuff that I did, a lot of search within myself. I've tried a lot of different modalities and they've all helped. I have deep respect for every single person who is out there, whether they are confidence coaches, hi Mina, whether it is someone who is helping with yoga, whether it's someone who's helping with Reiki, whatever it is that we bring to the community for help. I have absolute deep respect because we serve a purpose. In my case, I tried a lot of modalities and I got a lot of help. I picked myself up. I actually retrained and I became a tutor of English, actually, to support my girls and be there for them. But in myself, for my well-being, I did a lot of work, meditation. I joined a lot of classes, and I then came across RTT through Marissa Peer's Mind Valley program. And when I did the work that she made, I did it as a group course, and within that, I didn't realize how many deep lying things that I had not actually addressed in my life. I realized that there were some issues that were really deeply embedded in my own programming, in the way I was showing up. Issues that kept me stuck in places where I needed to take some steps. Issues that made me feel that I didn't deserve certain things. It's not something that we say to ourselves openly, but it's the prioritizing that you don't do to yourself. So when I addressed these issues and I used RTT, I really got to the root cause of so many things that needed a light shed on them. Things that went back to my own childhood, things that went back to my own beliefs about myself, my place in the world, a lot of things like that. So I retrained, I got my certification in RTT, and I wanted to help people. So this is what I do. I work with you on those deep mindset areas, your beliefs, your core programming, to help you navigate whatever it is you're going through. If you're struggling with having that, okay, I think I lost everybody there for a second. I hope you're still here. I had a problem with the internet, so I hope everyone is there. So if you're still here, thank you. Show me a thumbs up or give me a like to let me know that you're here and I haven't lost you completely. So apologies for that technology. You can't help it. I am still very much here. If anyone is here, please give me a little wave or just a little thumbs up to let me know that you are here and listening and I'm not just talking to myself. All right, I see one or two people. Okay, so I will just carry on from where I was speaking. So one of the things I was mentioning is RTT. So I retrained in RTT to help people really get to the root cause of the things that are coming up for them, getting to the root cause of things that are blocking them without them realizing, getting to the root cause of even the physical issues that are showing up in their lives. So what I do is I work with you, I work with your subconscious mind to really drill down and get to that root cause and help you with that. Now, why is RTT different? I get asked this a lot of times. Why RTT and why not something else? So for me, RTT is the most powerful modality that I came across because it combines elements of so many modalities and its own unique techniques are so powerful. You not only get to the root cause of your issue, you get to the root cause of your issue quite rapidly. If you've had an issue where you've been in therapy for many years even, with RTT you can quickly get to the root cause of what's showing up in your life within 2 or 3 months of working with me. So you get to the root cause, and then you not just get to the root cause of what's happened, where it's coming from, you are then able to identify those blocks, those beliefs that are making you feel stuck or that are causing you the lack of confidence or that are making you angry or that are causing a certain physical issue in your body. You get to interrupt those beliefs, and not only just interrupt, you then replace those with better beliefs, upgraded beliefs that are now ready for you in your journey today. So I've had, for example, a client who came to me for anger issues, and they said that they were constantly angry and upset. The house situation that they were in was not very healthy. However, the anger issues, and you would think it's obvious because there's stuff going on within the family, but the anger stemmed from things that had happened very early on in life. And when we released the anger, we not only released the anger around those issues, but the anger within ourselves for not having the voice to speak up. the anger with people who had abandoned us. So with my client, it was a case of working through the anger, changing that, and recognizing that when I was young, I got angry because I couldn't speak up. I didn't have a voice, and I held that anger on. Once I've expressed that anger and in my session and let it go, I can then address what other feelings are now coming up. Okay, I didn't speak up. I had that anger, but I also believed that I didn't have a right to speak up. So I kept that belief that in the future, when something comes up, don't speak up. So when you start to unravel these things, I always speak of it like the analogy of an onion. We are like these onions. And when we start to unravel and unfold and rediscover these layers upon layers that are hidden underneath, RTT gets to the root of that issue. And when you get to the root of that issue, all the other layers start to fall away. So with my client, getting rid of the anger that she had with people from her life allowed her to improve her eyesight. I've mentioned this even in my grid posts. It was fascinating because it was unexpected, even for people like myself. We don't know what to expect in a session. We don't know how the effects ripple out, but it's just a matter when we see the effects of the work that you put in start to take place. So the anger that was in her was holding her as a child. When you're so upset, and if you're surrounded in an environment where there's a lot of arguments, where there's a lot of, it's unhealthy, as a child, you can't speak up. So you tell your mind, I don't want to see this. And your mind listens to you. Your mind will do anything in its power to take you away from pain towards pleasure. And so what the mind says, you don't want to see this? Right. What's the easiest way that we can literally make this happen? We can start to make the eyesight get worse. And so my client had had glasses from the age of 4. And every year the number had increased over time. For the first time after doing the RTT sessions with me, she had to get her eyesight checked because actually there was improvement in her eyes, and even the opticians were a bit surprised. What have you done? How is it actually the numbers getting better? And it was all around releasing and being ready now to see what is in front of you, to be able to face what's in front of you, because as a child you didn't want to see it, but you now remind yourself, I'm not that child anymore. Actually, I can speak up. If there's an unhealthy situation that I don't want to be in, I'm not the child that has nowhere to go. I can leave the room. I can make my point heard. So it's about empowering yourself, upgrading you to realize that you are not that little child. I've had sessions where clients have gone back to being in their mother's womb, and the fear that has held them back in their life hasn't even been their own fear. It's been the fear that they heard through their mother when the mother was expecting. So it's really fascinating when you deal with the subconscious knows exactly where you need to go for your issue. And sometimes in sessions, clients can say, am I deep enough? Or is this right? I don't remember this. The point is not about remembering. The point is not about whether the memory is accurate or not. The point is about what meaning you gave it. If you ask 5 people about one event that they may have experienced, everyone will have their own individual perspective. And it's something like that with your subconscious. When you are going through something, you give it a specific meaning that is meaningful to you. And given your age, your circumstances, you are going to see it from a certain perspective, and you're going to attach a certain meaning. So what RTT does is it gets to that root cause, it identifies those blocks, and we see the meaning that you've attached, and then we change the meaning. And the power with RTT is when you change the meaning, when you understand where this comes from, you can never ever go back to being exactly the same way. So people who come to me for anxiety is something that doesn't just go away. We work on it, we get coping skills. But what you start to do is you start to identify the patterns and identify where certain things that you can't explain have come from. The analogy I use here is if you go into a dark room and you switch on the light and you have a look around the room and identify what's in the room, and even if I switch the light back off, you will still have seen what everything is, where everything is, and you will remember. And when something occurs or you're walking in the room, you'll remember there was something there. It's a bit like that. You will start to have a deeper, powerful understanding of what's going on within you, where those patterns are coming. And you then start to have amazing and phenomenal coping skills. Thank you, Aman. She says, I do an absolute. Thank you so much. Thank you for your comment. She's appreciating the work I do. We all do amazing work. But with RTT, it goes deeper than that, because you are within the session, you are applying various techniques from RTT as well as other modalities. We feel where this is, where your emotion is lying. People come to me with grief. Grief is so personal. If you've lost somebody 6 months ago, a year ago, even 2 years ago, even 10 years ago, it doesn't matter how long, if you've not processed that, if you've not had the cry that it deserved, if you've not spoken about it enough, if you've held emotions inside. And often with grief, we don't have just the grief. We have things that come up that are triggered with the grief. So when we lose somebody, we lose, like when I lost my dad, you lose for me, I lost the roof over my head. I always say I lost the stability. So suddenly it exposes where your insecurities are. You may feel angry with yourself. Maybe you could have done something, or maybe the other person shouldn't have left. There's sometimes an element of guilt. Did I do enough? There's sometimes even shame. Maybe there's something that you didn't get to say. So there's elements that get sort of exposed with these kind of events. Grief is something that is a process we go through, but in the process, it will highlight where you need that help. And so we work through those issues. You get a chance to really speak all those unexpressed emotions. You get a chance to have a cry. You get a chance to release. So with the program that I work with RTT, I call it the reprogram. Re meaning you do stuff again. Without what I found, I was doing a lot of stuff. We were releasing things, reframing things. We were realigning to what we wanted to be. We were reconnecting to our power. We were remanifesting, recreating. So I thought, you know what? I am always redoing something. And amazing, I've had someone called Recreate Health join. Hello, welcome. So the whole point is you get a chance to do it again. It's never too late to go back and to review your stuff. So another question that I often get asked about is the hypnosis part. People are not sure. They've seen stuff on TV that is scary, or it's even entertaining or funny. Will I lose control? Some people ask me. Absolutely not. When you are in a state of hypnosis, it just means that you are completely relaxed. Your guard is down. And you're speaking from that innermost mind, your innermost voice. Right now, as you're listening to me, as I'm speaking, I'm using my conscious mind and I'm thinking about what I'm saying. In that state of hypnosis, you let that guard down and you allow your subconscious, your innermost mind to speak. I describe hypnosis as a really relaxed state where you kind of let go of the thinking brain. Imagine you're watching a really interesting movie and you got caught into the movie. You forget where you're sitting. If you're in the cinema and the movie ends and you come out and you realize you're back, that is a form of hypnosis. So hypnosis is nothing to be scared of. It is absolutely safe. And if anything, you are more in control with how you're feeling than less in control, because you're speaking from that innermost voice. I cannot make you say or believe or do something that you don't already connect with. So if we are in session and we're going through a scene where you have regressed to a memory, and as I'm guiding you, if I say, did this happen and is this how you feel? If you don't agree with me, you will tell me, no, that's not what happened. So I cannot make you say, do, or believe something that you don't. You have full control. It's absolutely safe. It is nothing like what you see on TV where people are entertained and made to do. That's entertainment. What we are doing here is connecting with that innermost mind to really find out what's going on. Sometimes we have inexplicable stuff come up with us and we really don't know why we behaved a certain way. We really don't know why something triggers us all the time. So these are the things that you can get access to. And while you're in that state, another question I get asked is, will I be regressed to something painful and traumatic? The answer is not always. You will go back to what is relevant to that issue. I sometimes get people who have had difficult things happen in their lives, who've gone through trauma, who've gone through abuse, who've gone through violence, who've gone through different types of things. And the conscious mind, your obvious mind, will think, the reason behind why I feel like this is this big traumatic thing I went through. And you may fear, I don't want to go back there. If it is absolutely related to your issue, your mind will go there. If it is not, your mind will go back to the memory or experience or event that is relevant to what. Sometimes people are very surprised with the memories or experience that come up because they think, how come this has come up for me? But when we dig deeper, there are there are always nuggets of connections of why that scene experience is relevant. If you do go back to something traumatic, if you do go back to something that hurts you, upsets you, you are always reminded that you are never ever reliving the situation. When you're in that state, you will be aware that you are here, but you are watching it. Almost like, I tell my clients, it's like you are watching the movie of your life or that scene in front of you. And you very much know that I'm watching myself, but it's not happening again. So I am reviewing it, not reliving it. And so in that situation, yes, if it's something upsetting, you will let go, you will cry, you will, even if you need to release anger, we encourage you, I guide you, I facilitate you to whatever needs to be done to release that, but you will not relive it. You will very much find a release from whatever it is. And that's something very, very crucial and powerful, because often we hold on to the painful stuff because we're too scared to go there. With grief, people are too scared to cry because they think, oh my God, if I cry, I won't be able to stop. The truth is, you will stop. You will cry and you will cry yourself out. You may want to scream, you may want to shout. In grief, you need to express that. But once it's expressed, that feeling that you are holding on to, once it gets heard, it does stop. Your feelings are your body's, mind's, psyche's GPS. When you feel a certain way, the feeling is trying to tell you something. What we tend to do in our society is we tend to shove it under the carpet. We tend to kind of suppress the feeling. We tend to ignore the feeling. What the feeling does, it will regroup and it will come back somewhere else. A feeling needs to be heard. A feeling needs to be validated. A feeling needs to be expressed. When you give it that space and time, the feeling goes away. So when you work with me, this is what RTT does. And in hypnosis, you have that safe space. You have that time allocated to doing just that. It is very powerful. It is very, very effective because you feel that you've addressed those core issues. You feel that you have actually gotten to the root. And we work through a cycle. So I will explain more. If anyone's interested, get in touch and I will tell you how it works. But I wanted to touch on that aspect. Another question that so many people ask me, sometimes we want to help our loved ones. We can see our loved ones, they're struggling, they're suffering. Maybe it's your child. As a parent, you're worried about your child. Maybe it's your sibling, maybe it's a parent. We want to help. We can see they need help. And they ask me, can you help me? Can you help me? And my answer is always, the person who needs help, are they ready? because all of us know you cannot, if someone is not there, they may even say, yes, I'm ready and I'm going to work, because they feel by doing it, they're sort of doing it for somebody else. It's got to be for themselves. So when you ask me, can you help my loved one? I say, yes, I can. But does your loved one need help? Recognize that they want help. Because as much as this work is powerful and it's, amazing and fascinating, you have to have that commitment. You have to have that wanting from inside that I need help. I want to get help. So I always suggest to you, get your loved one to get on a call with me, because when I can speak to them, I can then see whether they feel they are ready. If they are not ready, then there's no point in pushing someone, especially if they're in a vulnerable or in a sensitive place. Sometimes it's not right. It's not right. You need to kind of be ready, because getting this kind of help, whether it's with work I do or with any kind of modality therapy, you're putting yourself out there. So you need to be ready. And you will know when you're ready. If you've tried a lot of things and you feel that something's not making sense, if you feel that I want to know why I always do this, or I want to really get to the root of why I feel this way, or when you see yourself behaving a certain way and you realize my children are watching me and I don't want them to repeat my patterns. Because as you know, a lot of the stuff we pick up is from our parents or from the people who raise us. That is why we have intergenerational interruptions needed. We need to break those patterns. But you have to be ready. You have to be committed. And the last thing I guess I wanted to bring up with you is, if you found any of this helpful, let me know. I am here for you. How you can work with me is in a number of ways. So the first way that you can work, because I recognize what you have is usually very private. See, the work I do, so when people come to me for grief, they've lost somebody they've loved, or they're feeling anxious and they can't go out, they can't make clear decisions, whatever it is very private and it's very personal. And it's something that you need to have that comfort and trust with whoever you work with, whatever modality. And when you work one-to-one, I very much commit to you, but I need your commitment just as well. It's a two-way street. You've got to be there to get it. And sometimes we have codependencies. We have something we know we want to work on, but this issue in my life is actually getting me something else that maybe I don't know. This sometimes happens with illnesses. Sometimes happens with, if you've had a role in your life where you've always had attention, or something happened to you with something that's going on with your issue, if you let go of that issue, you no longer have that. So there are things that I will talk to you and I kind of decipher through just speaking to you about where you're at. So you can work with me on my reprogram with Jas one-to-one. The best way to do that is send me a DM and I will signpost you to my link to book a call with me, or simply go to the link in my bio and just book your call. Often people find just by speaking to me, because they get a voice, they get a safe space to share, they start to feel better. Sometimes we just need to share our story with someone, and often people just speak to me about their issues and they feel a little bit better. I also do bespoke recordings. So RTT works, as I said, with the subconscious mind. And in a full RTT package, you will go back to the root cause of where this is coming for. But if you want to actually just reprogram your mind and say, tell your mind a new story, a new belief, we can simply create the recording, your bespoke recording. These RTT recordings that I mentioned, they are designed to go and embed in your subconscious. They're not just like reciting affirmations. They are designed, and their language and the words we use are used in a way that go into your subconscious. And the way the words I use, so we can design a bespoke recording for whatever it is that you want to make happen in your life. So that's another way of working with me. Sometimes you may not be ready for a full RTT session. Maybe you're hesitant. So I work with you in what I call my power hours. In the power hours, we get to speak, but I know how the mind works. I will use the RTT rules of the mind to kind of say to you what you can do. So it is coaching, but with the RTT hat on, where I apply these rules of the mind that Marissa Peer has shared with us as RTT practitioners, and we are able to see what's holding you back. But again, these power hours are more like surface level. For the deep work, RTT at the root level is needed. The other thing that I realized is the work I do is so bespoke, and that is needed, but there are general areas in our life that people would like help with. So self-confidence, self-esteem is one. Sometimes in your nutrition, your food, your relationship with food is a big one. Sometimes you need help with your money. Sometimes you need help with just your career and the work that you do. So I was drawn to this, that I need to show up in a space that is accessible to more people. And I'm in the process of designing, and I'm very much near there, designing a group course that I'm going to be launching in September. I will do a masterclass to kind of introduce RTT, but at the upper mindset level, so you can experience that. And this is going to be coming up in this summer. So those of you who are following me or watching me, please keep an eye out for that. I will be holding a masterclass where it will be a private on Zoom, where you will join me and we will go through an RTT session, but it will not obviously be bespoke. It will be a group theme where you will get to experience RTT for yourself, but also just get a taste of the work that can happen. And then we will delve into those general areas. I'm going to start this group course with a very small cohort of people. It's a beta course. I want to see how I can help. So I will have a beta price as well. And I want to make it a really safe space for a few number of people. It's not going to be a large number of people. So that is going to come up in September. That's another way that you can work with me coming up. I do have free offerings already in place. Those of you who are aware, I have a YouTube channel with some recordings that you can experience for yourself, aimed at different things. I also created for grief, someone who's just lost somebody who's in early grief, if it's 1 or 2 years or even a couple of months. I created a recording called Navigating a Recent Loss. When we have a recent loss, we are in that deep, deep pain. And sometimes we are yearning to get in touch with our loved one. We haven't said some things. We are kind of confused about what's happened. So that recording is very much a way for you to get some comfort and reassurance through that time and space. So I'm here to serve you. I'm developing a lot of different things within this line, and I always welcome suggestions. If there's something that you feel you want to share with me, please hit me up in my DMs. Any questions you have about anything that's coming up for you, this is why we are here. All of the wonderful people who do this kind of work, they're all there, not sometimes by choice, but it's a calling. We've experienced stuff, so that's what makes us resonate with you and show up for you. So for someone like me, you can imagine with grief, I hear a lot of sad things, and it's not easy on me, which is why I also have people I go to fill my cup and to keep my energy levels up. So we all do this. We all reach out for help. So the first step, if anyone's watching, the first step to do is just reach out, whether it's to me or to all the other people out there who are offering different kinds of help. Just reach out. If it's a matter of investment of money, which usually is the case, you want to ask yourself a question: how long do I want to carry on? And when I do this work and I get this release from this pain, if the anxiety I experience goes away, if I'm able to make peace with a loss, what's the price of that? What's the transformation I'm getting? So that is how you view. This is what I do. I also get help for various things, and it's not the service that is just offered. It's what transformation am I getting out of it? What release am I getting out of it? That's the true value that we add, and that's the question you want to ask. So whoever joined me, thank you very much. I have gone on for over half an hour. And anyone have any questions, any suggestions, please always DM me. Feel free to reach out. And anyone who wants to do a collaboration or speak on mental health, you know I do these lives every month with other people, and they don't have to just be about grief. My purpose is to speak about mental well-being. We don't do it enough. We shy away from speaking about this. So I'm here to serve you. I'm always here to listen to you, reach out. So sending you all love and light as always. God bless. Bye.